We are still talking about evaluating data. In this example, we assume that we have a couple of flight instructors and they all grade their pilots. Now we would like to know if they all give by average the same grades, or if we have one Santa Claus instructor who always gives a little bit better grades than the others. So in order to see how our instructors are performing, we go to the reports page. And on the reports page, let's now create a new report. We go directly to the queries page, and of course here we are interested in resource record items, and we want to see the resource. We also want to see the record item. We want to see the grade, that's the important thing here, the grade. And we want to see who graded the pilots. So the created by, and we want to see the ID. And we only want to see the record items that are in a specific subtree that I prepared for this example. Content, I think this is the one, and we call it just ID. This is just ID because remember I said we don't want to have blanks in there. It makes it easier if we don't have blanks, and this is what we call RI for record item. Okay, this is what it is. We execute the query. Okay, and here we have many more than 5,000. Right, many more than 5,000. For this example, I just called it record item 4 and record item 3, etc., record item 1. But of course, in real life, that would be landing, takeoff, whatsoever. We start Jupyter, but you see again, we first have to save our query. Yes, we save it, and then automatically now we open our notebook, and the system imports the mint_df variable, the data frame. That might take a while. It depends a little bit on how big the result is. So let's wait until this is ready. Okay, here we are. And as I told you in the previous video, it's always a good idea to start with looking into the details of this data frame, and the statement was info. So let's run this and we get the information, and you can see here already we are talking here about 250,000 rows that we analyze here. They are all of type string as explained in the last videos. Now, in order to run evaluations on the grade, we must make the grade to a integer variable, categorical integer variable. And I will show you how that is done. What we do is we add now one column to the mint_data frame variable. We add one more column. We don't change the columns that we have. We will add one column. So it looks like this, mint_df, and then I create a new column and I call it now grade number, because it's a number now, that's the idea, and we get it from the mint_df grade, right? This is what we take. We take the grade, but now we say as type. This is a Python statement. It's a categorical variable, category, and then we have to say cut codes. This is what we have to do. We run this statement, and now we added a new column. And if we run this statement now again, I will just copy it. So if we run this statement again here, you will see that we now have a new column which is called grade number and is of type integer. And that allows us to perform mathematical statistical information on these grades. So that is always what you have to do first, to convert a string variable into an integer variable. Now we want to see if we have Santa Claus instructor. So we are interested in the performance of the instructors, and we want to group by instructors. So mint underscore df, the statement is group by, and we want to group by the instructor, by the grader. That was this ID. So we enter, oh sorry, I forgot here. It is this parenthesis. So we put in here ID, right? We want to group by the ID, and then we would like to see the mean value of all the instructors. That's all we have to do. So if I run this query, now you can see how our different instructors are performing here. This is the first one, then we have this one, and we have this one. And they are doing more or less the same. You can see that for this instructor, the mean value is lower than for the others. This has more or less the same mean value. This instructor gives a lower grade, but we are not seeing any Santa Claus instructor. What also might be interesting is to see how, not the mean value, but the standard deviation. So I copy the statement, and instead of saying mean value, we are interested in the standard deviation, right? It's one little change here, and now we can see how does that look like. And you can see, again, these two instructors are more or less the same, whereas this instructor has a higher deviation. All right, so these two instructors, they grade more to their mean value, whereas this instructor has a higher deviation. But again, I would say we are not seeing any indication for one specific Santa Claus instructor, but this is how you could do that. I would also like to show you how this can be graphically represented. So we need our matplotlib statement, and that's done like this: matplotlib inline. As I said before, we want to run the graphical charts inside this notebook. So matplot inline, and then we say very easy mint df, and it is one statement, histogram, hist, like this. And since there's just one integer variable, right, one integer variable, it takes this integer variable as the resulting set. Let's look how that looks like. You see, a very nice graphic, and we can see how many times the instructors gave the different grades, right? Most of it is just the 3, but we can see that very nicely here on the histogram. And you can see it's just one small statement to get this graphic out here. This is one example how to find out quickly the different performances of your instructors. Thank you.